Hodl that Bitcoin.
Hello everyone, Ben with BTC Sessions here. We're going to be going through some quick news here. I'm going to go down the line. I've got two special guests today, and we will let you know who they are and where they're at. Kevin, take it away. Let people know who you are, where they can find you.
Hey everyone, my name is Kevin. I'm from Bitcoin for Beginners. We have a YouTube channel. You can find us on YouTube, and our main purpose is to put out all sorts of content educating beginners in this space.
Awesome, awesome. And Jason, let people know who you are. Where can they find you?
What's happening? I am Jason from Cryptosomniac. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Cryptosomniac everywhere. Yeah, so you can find us there, cryptosomniac.com, all that kind of good stuff.
Awesome, awesome.
Our channel is primarily a trading channel, but we also like to get in and look behind the curtain as well.
Awesome. Great, great. Okay, so we're going to dive into the topic at hand. I'm going to toss it to Kevin. Kevin, you've got a topic you'd like to talk about. We'll let you introduce it, and then myself and Jason will give our input as well. So take it away.
Sounds good. So my topic is about all of the platform cryptocurrencies out there. Like we all know the big one, Ethereum, but there's other ones like Neo, EOS, Cardano, Stellar, Tron. There's so many these days, right? And a lot of, so I've known about crypto for quite a while now. Like I read the Bitcoin white paper back in grad school, but didn't really dive in until mid last year when Ethereum really kind of kickstarted the whole craze and got a lot of new people interested in this. And so I'm a big fan of looking at all of these platforms and seeing which one can build the best one. And then we can see what type of decentralized apps can come out and potentially be used by the mainstream public. And so a lot of people these days I see around the crypto space, they are saying how Ethereum is like not even good anymore and that there's better ones out there that people should throw the support behind. But I was kind of still thinking about this because I watched Vitalik's DevCon presentation, and he outlined like where they started years ago with Ethereum and every single step they took, like all of the different delays, what they researched, what they decided would work, what they decided wouldn't work. And I was like, wow, they put in like a lot of time and thought and effort into like this platform. And he told us about the future of it too, like all of this upcoming like sharding and Casper is actually going to be combined into one effort instead of two separate efforts, because he realized they're doing the same things but two different teams and kind of didn't make sense there. And so that kind of gave me a like a resurgent boost in my confidence in this project after watching this whole talk. It was like 40 minutes or something pretty long. But basically, yeah, I just want to toss this idea out there. I'm still pretty confident in Ethereum as the king of platforms. And I realize like Bitcoin has the possibility to do this too, but no one's really been using it yet. And I don't think it's quite as developed. So until then, I still think that Ethereum is light years ahead of the other ones in terms of maturity, the amount of time people spend researching to make sure it's solid and not just tossing out code like some other projects like EOS or whatnot and tossing it into the wind and seeing if it's going to work or with bugs or whatnot. I like Ethereum's more cautious approach, like making sure everything's right, doing a lot of testing, a lot of due diligence and back and forth in terms of debating everything that they're researching. And yeah, that was kind of long, but that's my thoughts and wanted to hear what you guys think about that.
Yeah, that's great. Jason, do you want to jump in first?
Sure. So I don't disagree. I think Ethereum's still got plenty of legs to go. I mean, obviously, we've seen that there is scaling issues with it, let's say, for now. But again, there's a lot of smart people that are working on it. You mentioned a couple of the scaling solutions that they're working on. And there's already, people are already developing dApps. I say all the time that we've got a lot of different people that are building roads, and we've kind of got enough roads. We need to start getting cars on these roads, right? Like there's all these different platforms out there. And while I do see some strong contenders. I mean, EOS is a pretty strong project. There's a bunch of other smaller, like up and coming protocol projects that are pretty interesting as well. But that being said, you guys know, I mean, I constantly am saying like Bitcoin is the most robust because most robust dev communities, strongest blockchain, et cetera. Ethereum at least has the first mover advantage that way. But EOS does have a pretty strong contendership to it, I think, just because of the community backing that they're getting. So, you know, we'll see. But I think for at least the near-term future, I'm not selling my Ethereum.
Fair enough. I'm gonna dive in here. So again, like I'm coming from like this kind of I shouldn't even say semi anymore. I'm coming from more of a maximalist position here, but looking at like obviously there's this kind of functionality isn't available on Bitcoin yet. It's interesting looking at things like what's it called, RGB, I think is being built as that kind of a platform on Bitcoin. But it's very early days. So yeah, like most of the development is sitting on Ethereum. Do I think that there's a threat from some of these other projects to them? Absolutely, because where there was no choice, there's now choice. And people are inevitably, parts of the market are going to move to and experiment with these other platforms. Now, the interesting thing about it is you get something like EOS, where comparatively it's much more centralized as far as the way that governance is done. 21 masternodes, I think. Yeah, so you have more or less like 21 points of failure that can potentially be coerced. And whereas Ethereum, it looks like it's a lot more decentralized, but also you're getting into the issue with Ethereum where scaling wise, like how the hell do you run a node anymore? Like how do you get one up and running reliably? So that's an issue that they're, you know, I imagine they're trying to work on with things like sharding and so on and so forth. But it's going to be a battle moving forward. And I'm curious how much of that will be taken away by other platforms and maybe eventually Bitcoin as well. I think they do have an uphill battle with the injection of all of these new platforms. But I do think it's also going to be difficult for one of the new up and comers to take that spot. Time will tell. As far as like value proposition of the network itself, I mean, I would be surprised to see Ethereum in terms of Bitcoin value hit its previous all-time high. I think that was back in July of 2017. I would be surprised for them to surpass that amount of value, given that there's so many other options now and that ICOs are getting, you know, basically roasted over the coals by the SEC now. But yeah, I guess time will tell. We'll see. We'll see in the next few years. I'm a big question mark, but I'm also gunning for things like RGB to take a slice of that market.
So you consider yourself a Bitcoin maximalist, Ben?
Yeah, not as confrontational as some of them, but unless you're on my Twitter, then maybe a little bit more so. But yeah, Twitter's not the real world, hey? So, but yeah, no, I mostly for the reason that I came into the space was for separation of money and state and for sound money and the most decentralization possible. So, you know, I'm not saying that there's not interesting innovations happening on things like Ethereum, but I prefer to have that base layer solid before we move to more complicated iterations on top. So, yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I have a brand new website up, BTC Sessions.ca. And what is the purpose of this website? Well, I have a lot of free content, a lot of free shit on my YouTube channel, and hopefully that's been very helpful for you. But if you find that there are some concepts that you can't quite wrap your head around, perhaps you just need the comfort of somebody looking over your shoulder saying, yes, you're doing that correctly, or maybe you just want to discuss some concepts that maybe you don't have anybody to discuss them with. I am offering services where people can book me online for appointments if you like. So if that's something that interests you, please head over to btcsessions.ca and you can reach out to me there. As always, thanks for watching, and let's dive back into the video.
I think about that a lot. Just why are some, like, when we have what at least appear to be good options. Why are so many people trying to build a better mousetrap when, you know what I mean? Like, and I ultimately think it all comes down to cash grab, right? Because it's like that gold rush thing. Who's making the money in the gold rush? Certainly some of the miners, right? Some of the miners struck it rich or whatever, but the people really making the money were the ones selling the picks, shovels, and pans, right? And so I think that's really the mentality that a lot of these people are taking, is like, listen, we can build our thing, and as long as we make it so people can build on top of it, we have a chance to make a ton more money. And so from an economic standpoint, it makes sense. But ultimately, from an adoption standpoint, why aren't we just picking a horse and backing that horse in the race? You know, and whoever that, there are enough options out there right now. We don't need to go, yeah, but we can do it better. Like, can you really though, or are you just going to further dilute the market?
Yeah, I got into a bit of a, well, I guess that there wasn't too much of a back and forth, but I called out, was it BAT, Basic Attention Token, the other day?
Yeah.
So they had put up something where some scammer was running an account saying, hey, you know, go and, you know, put this amount of whatever token here and we'll double it for you. And they said, they tweeted saying, if somebody's asking you to deposit money in exchange for a reward, it's a sign of a scam. And I retweeted them and I said, also a sign of a scam, creating your own native token in ICO when there's 2,000 other alternatives already on the market. So they didn't like that.
That's I'm kind of the same feeling. Is it's like, can we just, if we continue to dilute the developer community, and all the best talent is working on these fractionated pieces, we don't stand a chance against of ever changing the current financial system as it stands, because everybody's going to keep working on their own little individual project, and you know, it's just big bank takes little bank. The existing fiat system can come in and buy up your entire market cap and just be like, and that's over now.
Yeah,
right. That's a good point.
Depending on if you're sufficiently decentralized or not.
Yeah. Now, so maybe I'll toss this question to Kevin as to kind of cap it off. What needs to happen for the majority of the market if these other options start, you know, they're obviously going to continue to be made. What needs to happen for the majority of the market to go, oh, we've decided on this platform? Is there a turning point where that happens?
Well, I think the whole reason why all of these new platforms sprouted up, like mid last year to late last year to early this year, is because they saw problems with the current offerings. Like if Bitcoin already had their smart contracts layer ready to go, and it was like scaling was fixed, then I don't think any of these would ever have been born. Or like if Ethereum could handle CryptoKitties at ease, then like there'd be no reason why like people could just build CryptoKitties part 2 and get easy money, or like way easier like to develop that than their own platform. But because people saw there was a market need for this type of product, that's why so many of them jumped in and tried to say like, oh, we're going to do this like Ethereum, but a little bit different. We're going to do this like EOS, but a little bit different, because no one has fully succeeded in what the market actually requires yet, which is something that's like really scalable, sufficiently decentralized, secure, easy to use, easy to set up a full node, all those things that you talked about earlier.
Do you think there was a market need or do you think that they totally overshot the market need when you look at like the usage of some of these dApps, like, you know, a couple hundred wallets going and that's about it? Like, do you think that
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the blockchain usage for a number of these platform tokens, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, for the most part, there's not a need, but there has been like several days where I have like needed to push up my gas prices for Ethereum transactions quite a bit, and saw like a lot of pending transactions and whatnot. And I think just a few of those in people's minds. I mean, if you're going to be a decentralized world supercomputer, you can't have like any downtime or any like $5 to send a transaction or something. So
the question, why didn't they try to tackle that problem within Ethereum instead of just being like, nah, we'll just make our own?
I think exactly like you said. Yeah,
money,
economics.
I'm clearly a bit of a cynic.
I think that's healthy in this space. I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's wrap this and let everybody one more time know where to find us. It's obvious. BTC Sessions, YouTube and Twitter, but Kevin and then Jason, take it away.
Bitcoin for Beginners on YouTube, and also our website, bitcoinforbeginners.io.
And Cryptosomniac is our site, YouTube. We've got Twitter. We've got all the socials, Facebook, et cetera, cryptosomniac.com. The market never sleeps. Neither do we. You know where to find us. We'll be in the charts.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you next time around.